Okay. So we said we will discuss what a Dandaka is. So we discussed about Shyamala, Matangi, the whole idea, the concept of that, right? We said we will see what a Dandaka means. See, in those who are familiar, usually shlokas are written in the form of a chandas. So there is some kind of a meter in every shloka or a verse, or there is prose. So if you look at the itihasas, Puranas, they are prose. Gadya, it's called Gadya. Prose is Gadya. Then there is shlokas which have a certain chandas, like for example, Gayatri chandas. Right? You take any verse of this thing, Bhagavad Gita, you say, for example, Karmanyeva adhikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala hetur bhuhu, ma te sangostva karmani. So it's broken equally into uh, two parts in the first line and two parts in the second line. This part of a Gayatri Chandas. So similarly, there are different chandas. Like for example, Totaka Acharya, Vidita, Khila, Shastra, um, Vidita, Khila, Shastra, Sudha, Jaladhe,
सुधा जलदे
hmm,
परितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे
Gita, Nidhe. So that is called Totaka. Kamala kuchachuchu kakumkumato niyataru nitatulani latano. The same. That is Totaka Chandas. So there is different chandas, which means there are different meters to different shlokas. Dandaka is also a form of a chandas. So if you notice in this particular shloka, it'll seem like a prose. Jaya Janani Sudha Samudrantarudyan Manidvipa Samrudha Bilvatavi Madhya Kalpadruma Kalpa Kadamba Kantara Vasa Priye Kritivasa Priye Sarvaloka Priye. It goes like that. It looks like a prose, but there is a certain structure to it. Now, what is the structure is a dandaka is made up of what is called as two naganas and multiple raganas. So, what it means is gana means a combination of three aksharas is a gana. Three aksharas put together is a gana. And there are different kinds of ganas. Nagana, ragana, tagana, chagana, different kind of ganas. But what Dandaka is looking at is particularly two types of ganas, a Nagana and a Ragana. And so Nagana means three, Gana is essentially three. But how Nagana goes with, and then there is a concept of Laghu Akshara and a Guru Akshara. Laghu is a short Akshara, Guru is a long Akshara. For example, is a Laghu Akshara. Is a Guru Akshara. Okay. So when you do this, Nagana is created by three Laghu Aksharas. Uh, 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 that is a Nagana. Okay. Ragana is a Guru, Laghu, and a Guru, which means a, a, or Ra. That will be a Ragana. Okay. Nagana is all Laghu Aksharas. Now, how Laghu and Guru are defined also, there are some basic technicalities. Not getting too much into the technicalities. The simple Laghu and Guru is defined by the Rasva and the Dirgha. Okay, the Rasva or the small short ones are the Laghu Aksharas. The long ones are the Guru Aksharas. This is straightforward. But then, whenever two consonants come together, called as Samyukta Akshara, right? When two consonants come together, like ikta, kr, when two consonants come together, then the previous akshara becomes a guru akshara, even if it is a laghu akshara. So there are rules like that. In the same way, if there is a kaha, there is a visarga. Ka is a laghu, but there is a kaha, it becomes a guru akshara. Okay. Now, why is this required? Is to say how a Dandaka is formed. So, a Dandaka is formed with two Naganas. So, I'll show you this one, and multiple Raganas. Like, for example, here, you see this Ja, Ya, Ja. Okay, those who are able to see. See, the thing is, this cannot be shown in English. Okay, this has to be seen in Sanskrit only, because the ganas, the akshara will not make any sense in English that way. It's hard to distinguish it. So even if this looks like Greek and Latin, just try to follow the way this is, for those who can't understand Devanagari. Ja is the first akshara, Ya is the next akshara, Ja is the next akshara. So the first three aksharas is Ja, Ya, Ja. Okay. Then Na, Ni, Su. These are also Laghu aksharas. So three Laghu aksharas. So if you see Jaya, Jana, Ni, Su is two Na ganas. Because we said Gana is a collection of three aksharas. Any Gana is a collection of three aksharas. When you have three Laghu aksharas or three small aksharas or three Raswa aksharas, they become a Na Gana. So Jaya, Ja is one Nagana. Then Na, Ni, Su is another Nagana. After that, there will be multiple Raganas. And you can have up to, they say it's one less than 1000. So 999 in one Dandaka. So that is the rule of a Dandaka. So you can have as many Raganas as you want, but the maximum is you go up till 999 or whatever. So that is why in Shyamala Dandakam, it seems like it's just flowing like this. It feels like prose, but it's not. And if you notice the Raganas, look at these. It is Dha, Sa, Mu. Dha is a Guru Akshara, a big one, Dha. Sa is a Laghu. Then Mu is actually a Laghu, but because there is a Samyukta Akshara coming after that, Dra, Mu becomes a Guru Akshara. Mu becomes a Guru. So which is why you see Dha, Sa, Mud is Guru, Laghu, Guru. And that is a Ragana. Guru, Laghu, Guru is a Ragana. It belongs to the class of Ragana. So Dha, Sa, Mu, then Dra. Again, Dra is a Guru. Int is a Laghu. And Ru is a Guru. Actually, Ru is a Laghu, but because of Dya, this becomes a Guru. So that way it keeps going. So which is why you will notice the first two will always be, and if you notice the Dandakas, when you say Prathamam Dandakam, actually the whole Dandaka ends here. Then the Dvitiyam Dandakam starts. So the way it actually goes, जय जननी समुद्रांतरुद्यन मणिद्वीप समरूढ़ बिल्वाट विमध्य कल्पद्रुमा कल्प कादंब कांतार वासप्रिये कृत्तिवासप्रिये सर्व लोकप्रिये सादरारब्ध संगीत संभावना संभ्रमालोलनीप स्रगाबद्ध चूड़ी सनाथ त्रिके सानुबद्ध त्रिके शेखरी भूत शीतांशु रेखा मयूखा
मयूकावले बद्ध सुस्निग्ध नीलालकश्रेणि शृंगारिते लोक संभाविते कामलीलादनु सन्निभ रुलदा पुष्पसंदोह संदेह कृल्लोचने वाक्सुदाशेचने चारुकोरोजना पंककेलीलामाभिरामे सुरामे रमे पुरलसद्दौर्लताव मौतिक श्रेणिका चंद्रिका मंडलोद्भासी लावण्य गंडस्थलंद्यर्थ कस्तूरिका भद्र लेखा समुद्यंद सौरभ्य संभ्रांत भृंगांगना गीत शांति भवन्मंत्र तंत्रीश्वरेश्वरे भाश्वरे पंडे मल्लिकीवातन प्रक्रियारोल ताली तलाबद्ध ताडंग भूषा विशेषान्विते सिद्ध सम्मानिते దివ్యహాలాలతో దివ్యహాలోమదోల్ లోస హేళ హేళాలసక్షురాందోళన శ్రీ సమాక్షిప్త కర్ణేక నీలోత్పలే పూరితాశేషవాంఛ లోకాపి వాంఛాపలే శ్రీపదే స్వేద బిందూల సత్పాల లావణ్య నిశ్చంద సందోహ సందేహ కృన్నాసికా మౌక్తికే సర్వమంత్రాత్మికే సర్వ విశ్వాత్మికే కాళికే ముగ్ధ మందస్మితోదార వక్త స్ఫురత్పూర తాంబూల కర్పూర కంఠోత్కరే జ్ఞానముద్రాకరే सर्व संपत्करे पद्मभास्वत्करे श्रीकरे कुंद पुष्पद्विधि स्निग्धन तंतावली निर्मलालोल कल्लोल सम्मेलन स्मेर शोणाधरे चारुवीणाधरे पक्वबिंबाधरे.
Super. So that is where the first Dandaka ends. Okay. Now,
Sanskrit la tongue twister.
now, what you will notice is the second Dandaka, how does it begin? Is Sulalita Nava Yauvanarambha. So this is, there are two Naganas here. Sulalita Nava. Two Naganas. So then that is where the second Dandaka begins. Sulalita Nava Yauvanarambha Chandrodayo Dvelalavanya. So the pattern will follow that way. Then you have multiple Raganas till the end of the Dvitiya Dandakam. And then again the Tritiyam Dandakam, Vikasita Nava. This is a Nagana, two Naganas here. Vikasita Nava. And Kim Shukatamra Divyam Kanchanna Charuru Shobha. So this, it keeps going like that, right? Now that is one. So this is a Dandaka. Okay, essentially that is the structure of a Dandaka. But what he has also done many ways, so those who are familiar with Sanskrit, you will notice a lot of words are fairly simple. Okay, they're not very complicated words, they're fairly simple words. And there are many adjectives. Because this whole Dandaka, Shyamala Dandaka, is primarily describing Devi. As Kalidasa sees her at that moment, when he gets this intuition, this Vak Shakti, he sees her and he starts outpouring. So it's completely, the first several verses are purely in terms of her description. So a lot of adjectives are there. And the other way, how this 1, 2, 3, 4, within a Dandaka, how we are breaking it is, where there are adjectives, you put them as one long word. And where there is a Sambodhana, there you separate it and then you close it with that. You're able to follow, right? Krittivasa Priye is a Sambodhana. Sarvaloka Priye is a Sambodhana. So you stop it there. And then you go Sadara, Rabdha Sangita, Sambhavana, Sambrama, Lolani, Pasrgabadha, Chuli, Sanathatrike, Sanumatputrike. That's also a Sambodhana. Sambodhana means you're addressing her. So you kind of stop there. And then this becomes the second one. And then again you pick up the next one. And then you end it with the Sambodhana, which is Sambhavite. Then Krillochane Vaksudha Sechane. Oh, Vaksudha Sechane. So you're addressing Devi in each line within the Dandaka. So this is how the Dandakas or the Shyamala Dandakam is structured. So just to get an idea so that it breaks down the complexity, right? Otherwise it will seem very daunting, right? And then once we start going through this, you will realize that it is not as difficult as it seems, right? It's not as difficult as it seems. It's just that getting those words, understanding it's an adjective, Bilva, Tavi, Madhya, Kalpa, Druma, Kalpa, Kadamba, Kantara. You know, those are very fairly simple words. Once you get the rhythm of it and the flow of it, it'll start moving quite comfortably, right? So that is a
அப்படின்னா எல்லாமே it's two, everything is, the pattern is two naganas and then ragana all the way.
All the way.
So nagana ragana times how many ever?
How many ever raganas go all the way.
And it has to end with Sambodhana.
No, it doesn't have to end with a Sambodhana. That is not a Dandaka's necessity. I'm saying in this case, the way Kalidasa has done it is like that. So we take a break there. He's been a little compassionate. நம்ம மூச்சு விடுறதுக்காக அவர் ஒரு பிரேக் கொடுத்துருக்கிறீங்க. So we take a break at a Sambodhana. That is all. Okay. So that is that's the way it is. Okay. Now we'll look at so is that, does that give some clarity in terms of what a Dandaka is? Right? So that's the way it is structured.
I'm just wondering, நீங்க சொன்ன this is like an outpour, yeah. But has anyone like tried doing it on purpose? The whole chandas seems very.
No, I didn't follow the question.
Like you said, this came to him as an outpouring. He didn't consciously try and compose this, but is there any instance where they tried to fit in?
There is a Garuda Dandakam. There are a few Dandakas out there. There is a Garuda Dandakam that is there. I'm not sure who composed it, but there is a Dandaka that is also there. This Garuda Dandakam. Now, there is also another. So there are in Sanskritam shlokas and such works, there are many such interesting literary uniqueness. Like for example, the other one is Shiva will know this. The Charana Shringa Rahita shloka. Patanjali. What is that? Nataraja Stotram. Patanjali's Nataraja.
Sadanjita mudanjita
Sadanchita
nikunjita
mudanchita.
padam vajjala jhalam.
So that work, have you heard of that, Kalpaka? Sadanchita mudanchita.
No.
So that is a beautiful work. Maybe some other time we'll pick that up. That work, the whole work does not have an dirgha swara or a ref or any A kind of sounds, A or O kind of sounds. It'll all be very straight. It'll be along.
இதுல வரும் கண்டத்துல வரும் சதஞ்சித முடஞ்சித நிகுஞ்சித பதம் ஜல ஜலம் ஜலித மஞ்சுர
Manju Katakam. Correct.
பதஞ்சல
Correct.
திருகஞ்சல மலஞ்சல மச்சஞ்சல பதம் ஜனன பஞ்சனகரம் கதம்ப ருச்சிமம்பர வசம்பர மமம்புத கதம்ப கவிடம்ப ககளம் சிரந்தன மமும் ஜதிதி சம்பிருதர பரசிதம்பர நடம் ஹிருதி ரஜ
Parchidambara Natam
பரசிதம்பர நடம் ஹிருதி பஜே
அது பஜேன்னு சொல்லுவா, but it's actually bhaja because it doesn't have an A. There's no ekara, right? Kombu kadayadu.
Oh, but everybody said bhaje only.
I know. It should be bhaja. Should be Parachidambara Natam Hridi Bhaja. So this is another literary uniqueness of that particular shloka. There's a story behind why that was done that way, but some other time. So this one that way is an outpouring and came in this way. Like for example, for Totakacharya, Anandagiri, the whole Totakashtakam came as an outpouring, but it came in Totaka Chandas, right? So this is to show that how grace is operating there entirely, and this individual becomes a complete instrument of grace and lets it flow, and whatever comes out in a very unique, beautiful, unique way. And that is why it has stood the test of time. So you're talking about Kalidasa in the 6th, 7th century. I don't know when that was, but then this work has lived so many years through so many millennia because of the uniqueness of it and the way it's composed and the emotion that it brings out, the devotion that it exhibits, all of that. Right? So sometimes it feels like it's not humanly possible to create something like this. If that's the question, Kalpaka, it sometimes feels like that. Possibly, it has to be through some divine intervention.
Absolutely.
Some insight or some divine intervention, this kind of a thing that flows. Because when the same individual looks back to see, ayyo, na panne na ide. And that happens to us also. In people, particularly in the creative field, you would have noticed that when you get something, some sparks of genius or inspiration, and when you look at it like a couple of years later, you will wonder, did I do this? Right? So that happens to many of us. And so these are giants. These are spiritual giants in that way. So now going to the Dhyanam. Manikya Veenam Upalalayantim Madalasam Manjula Vagvilasam Mahendra Neela Dyuti Komalangim Matanga Kanyam Manasa Smarami. So here he is starting off, like as I said, it's unclear to say whether when he started, when Kalidasa started, did he start off standing there and looking at her and saying Manikya Veenam Upalalayantim? We don't know if he started with the dhyana or if he directly went into Jaya Janani Sudha Samudrantarudyan. We don't know. I would believe that he would have actually started off with Jaya Janani Sudha, because that is where the Dandaka starts. And later the Dhyanam would have been somehow possibly brought in, because even as a sadhaka, it is good to start with the dhyana of a particular, the form of deity that you're propitiating. And then you go into the actual, um, the, 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 the shlokas or the worship or the guna varnana of the deva. So, but either ways, it doesn't matter. He might as well would have started with this. It's possible. That is possible too. So what happens here is, in the Dhyanam, there are how many? Four Dhyana shlokas, right? So in the 4 Dhyana shlokas, he tries to paint a picture of what Matangi is, or the Rajashamala that he is perceiving as. Manikya Veenam Upalalayantim. So she is one who is holding a veena, which is a Manikya Veena, which means it's studded with Manikyam, rubies. Studded with rubies. Upalalayanti. Upalalayanti. Lalayanti means plays with it. To play with something is called lalayati. Cuddle, to cuddle or play is lalayati. Lalayantim is usually, the Bahuvachana is also used to give respect to someone. So she is playing with the veena, Lalayantim. Upalalayantim, which is very close to her. It's kept close to her and she's caressing or playing with the veena, which is studded with. Sorry, ma?
Shatra Pratyaya.
Shatra Pratyaya, correct. So it is in the present participle, continuous tense, present continuous tense. So she is playing with it, and what is that? It's a Manikya Veena. It is a ruby studded Veena. And what is her state? Her state is Madalasam. She is in an intoxicated state. Intoxicated state. State is intoxicated. Mad Alasam. Alasam is a certain kind of laziness. And that laziness is coming because of Mada. Mada means a certain kind of intoxication. Or Mada Vandu can also be considered as the Somabana, that is Mada. If you take Somabana or some intoxicant, if you take an intoxicant, you are in a state of Mada, which is a deluded state of delusion. And hence, because of that, you are in a lazy state. Those who came to Kashi and tried Shiva's bhang, Mahadev's bhang, you remember that experience. You have bhang, little bit they give. And in Kashi, there are so many lassi shops and all of that. In all shops, they give bhang. You can ask for little bhang. So they'll give that, and when you have that, you will know, the experience is slightly different. You'll be able to, there's a certain different kind of, and actually, in our group, some women also had it, because it's I mean, it is in fact, there is bhang in every abhisheka milk that is given to Shiva in Kashi. In the milk that goes for abhishekam to Kashi Vishwanatha, there is bhang mixed in it. Bhang and bilva leaf. So this bhang, when there is a little bit of that consumption of it with lassi or chas or whatever, there is a certain state of or the movement will be a little slow. You'll move a little slowly. Things will start appearing a little much more brighter, much more lucid,
Yeah.
clearer, and there'll be a certain expansion, and there'll be a certain wakefulness. There's a wakefulness, but yet or intoxication இருக்கும். Right? So that is the state of Matangam, Matangi. He's saying, because of what? Because of that inner bhang that she is drunk. She's drunk with the bhang which is coming from inside, the nectar, the madhu that is flowing from inside. She's drunk on it. And hence she is in a state of alasa. See, it'll be nice to just look at that image of Devi. Then if you look at her eyes, that you can feel that the eyes
இல்லாட்டி மாதங்கிய பார்க்கும்போது காளிதாசருக்கு அப்படி தோணி இருக்கா குருஜி?
Ama. So he's seen her because see, there is a spiritual intoxication. See, the intoxication that comes through substances is not long lived. It leaves you high and dry, and then it will always it'll put you in a state of wanting more. But the spiritual intoxication that one is able to be in, and there is a certain state of joy. There's a very nice, there's an interesting video of Osho I watched. Okay? So Osho was walking and he was kind of swaying and all that, and then somebody actually
Hare Rama Hare Krishna also it is happening, Guruji. When you go there, they dance, and you attain that stage, where you don't know what you are doing.
Correct. There's a certain state of there is a bhava, this thing that happens there.
Yeah.
So this person, after Osho enters, he's kind of moving and all that, and then he came and sat down, and then somebody asked this question to him: why do you seem always a little bit out of balance? Why do you appear like this? Then he explained, he said that I am always spiritually intoxicated. I am in a certain state of intoxication all the time. And then that is exhibited. A lot of times people who do a lot of sadhana and spend a lot of time doing meditation and all of that, when they are moving in the world, there'll be a certain level of, you will see some kind of joy that is there within them. They'll exhibit some kind of joy, and they may seem a little disconnected also. ஏதோ அவ உலகத்துல இருக்கா, இந்த இதுல சொல்லுவாளே, என்னது இது பரபிரம்மமா இருக்கே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிப்பா.
The Abhirami Bhattar.
Ama Abhirami Bhattar. In the same way, Hastamalaka also was in a certain state of Parabrahman. So that is Madalasa. That alasa comes from this Mada, this intoxication of this spiritual joy that is rising from within. So she is in that.
பார்த்தா இந்த தேவி பார்த்தா எனக்கு இன்னும் ஒரு கம்பேஷனோட பார்க்குறப்ப
Karuna.
More than intoxication, I feel there's compassion, a lot of compassion. அதோட பார்க்குற மாதிரி இருக்கு.
Beautiful. Amam. இதெல்லாம் correct. And I don't know who painted this eventually, but that's beautiful. I mean, each one of us emote and connect with these forms in very different ways. And you're right. When you look at her in that way, then there's also so much of karuna that is flowing through her eyes, right? So, but the intoxication he's talking about is her, whether it's her state of intoxication or not. Definitely Kalidasa was in a state of intoxication. That is something that we can also take in this, right? He is seeing her, but he is within him, he's intoxicated. The joy of this bliss of seeing Devi is so much within him that he's feeling intoxicated, and he's feeling this joy of Madalasa. He's feeling this state of this thing, and when you are in that state, everything else will feel like that also, right? Namakku thala suttiduna actually enna solluvom, nama ellam suttarudhu appdinu solluvom. Actually
பூகம்பம் வந்துடுச்சு.
Nothing outside is shaking or moving. நமக்கு தான் தலை சுத்துறது. So exactly, you'll say that the world is moving, feels like the world is moving, but it's actually us, right? So within us there is a movement. So in that way he is experiencing this joy of intoxication within. Madalasam manjula vagvilasam. So this is the veena she is holding, upalalayantim. Okay, then manjula vagvilasam. So he is something on the chat. She's playing in a unique way. Fingering is different than how we play. Yeah, she is. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you see other instruments of other pictures of Matangi, it's even further, even more different. Some Matangis you'll see on the internet, she is holding the veena like a guitar. So anyways, so then she's Manjula Vag Vilasam. Manjula is who's charming, very charming, and whose Vak is her speech is words are also so it's the words are charming, Vak Vilasam, and the body is also charming. So Manjula and Vilasa. So Vilasa refers to the Vak, while Manjula refers to her being itself, right? So Manjula Vak Vilasam. So her Vak is beautiful and charming. So we say that we want to keep listening to the Vak. And Mahendra Neela Dyuti Komalangim. So Mahendra Neela is blue sapphire. Neela, Mahendra Neela is blue sapphire. And Dyuti is effulgent. Okay. Kalpaka, can you just check the meaning of the word Manjula? Okay. So Manjula is pleasing. Manjula is pleasing and charming. Vilasa is also Vilasa is graceful. Correct, Kalpaka? Manjula is charming. Vilasa is graceful. So she is Manjula Vak Vilasam. Okay. Yeah, charming. Correct. Gayatri. Mahendra
Neela.
Of course, yeah, each word will have at least 50 different meanings. Yeah. Right. Contextual here is referring to her as this lovely, charming, beautiful looking lady.
Pleasing to hear.
Pleasing. Vak Vilasam is pleasant to hear. Her
Correct.
Her Vak
I was
is
wondering, spring னு போட்டிருக்கு. So spring வந்து அந்த like blooming quality.
Correct. Blossoming, quality of blossoming. அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். So Manjula Vak Vilasam. So her Vak is
the blossoming of speech in Kalidas.
Yeah. So Mahendra Neela Dyuti Komalangim. So her Anga is very gentle and tender, Komala Angim, and her this thing, her color is Mahendra Neela, blue sapphire. So she is shining forth, shining brightly like the blue sapphire, effulgent, Dyuti Komalangim, Matanga Kanyam Manasa Smarami. To that Matanga Kanya. This Matanga Kanya who is described here, Manikya Veenam Upalalayantim, Madalasam Manjula Vagvilasam Mahendra Neela Dyutikomalangim. Such a Matanga Kanya Aham Manasa Smarami. I meditate upon her, or think about her, or contemplate on her with all my mind. With my mind. Aham Manasa Smarami. So this is the first shloka. Now, so this one, of course, one usually Veena, those who are in the field of arts, you would have heard Veena usually refers, or there's a very, very close connection of Veena to the spinal column. Okay, so it is said the frets of the Veenas are like the nadis that are in the body, in the psychic nadis. And then Veena, there are 7 frets. So these are like the 7 chakras. So if you keep the Veena standing, the base is the Muladhara, and all the way it goes up till the top, which is Sahasrara. And then, so essentially when you're playing the Veena, when she is playing the Veena, which means she is activating the energies within our chakras. That is one symbolism that is brought here. Oh, Shiva is showing a Veena. Lovely. Wonderful, wonderful. Correct. So those are the frets. So you see there is a box-like structure on the right side of Shiva. There's a big circular dome-like thing. And then on this side, you have yeah, exactly. So this whole thing, if you take the spinal column, those who have seen in school, college, biology class, and if you go to the lab, there'll always be a skeleton that'll be hanging in the biology lab or the teacher's room or somewhere. And if you notice the spinal column, it will have a similar structure. It will go straight all the way, and there will be ribs that will be opening up there. So those are like the frets here. And so it is compared to that. And then it's not necessarily a physical structure, but the energy structure within the spinal column. The whole central nervous system runs through the spinal column, and the energies are also through the spinal column. So whatever energies that go from the Muladhara up to the Sahasrara, slowly it rises. And there is a coordination and a correspondence between the energies that are rising in the chakras to the state of consciousness we are in. So as we said, it is moving from the gross state of consciousness to subtler states of consciousness through that process of awakening in the chakras. When that happens, it moves through the whole spinal column, and that is represented by the Veena. So Devi playing the Veena is representation of she activating those chakras or energies if we allow her. And by activating those chakras, there is a possibility of us attaining to that madhu or the sudha sarabhivarshini, the sudha or the nectar that can flow through us, and we consume the nectar, and then there is a possibility of us understanding what this madalasa means, which means we are in that state of spiritual intoxication. Right? So Manikya Veena Upalalayantim, she does it very gently. She's caressing the Veena and playing the Veena, so that through that activates the chakras and activates the energies, so that the consciousness moves from gross to the subtlest state of consciousness within us. And in that process, with every rise of consciousness, with every rise of the energy within us, you are becoming open to more cosmic energy. The more the possibilities of cosmic energy entering us is opening with every chakra getting activated. And in this process, the more the energy that flows, the more joy that also comes in, because you're no longer depending on the energies of the material plane. Whether be it physical, be it mental, be it emotional, or any other form, we are not dependent on this plane for our joy. So the joy starts welling up from inside, right? So that Madalasam, Manjula Bhagvilasam, and then the speech that comes out is beautiful, because you are in a state of joy and intoxication. The speech that comes out will be beautiful, which means the speech that comes out will never be in conflict. It will always be in harmony, in dharma, whatever it may be. It may be the right words, it may be not the socially right words. Like there is this Visiri Samiyar in Tiruvannamalai. He will go, he'll take a stick and he will go and beat people up. He will throw stone at the shop. He'll do some crazy stuff, like crazy wisdom. But then people will wait for that, because what he does something, he throws, he comes to their shop and he hits them or whatever. They have, suddenly there's something blossoms in their life. So such people, when they talk also, it will be completely in harmony with dharma in nature, with what needs to happen in nature. They will never be in conflict. So Vag Vilasam. Why? Because they have opened up all the veena, the frets of the veena are opened up in them. Mahendra Neela Dyuti Komalangim, and then they shine like a blue sapphire, which means blue sapphire is essentially, see, this blue thing is a very interesting color. Okay. It is said that, and also remember, we said she is the Vaikhari Vak. Matangi Devi is the energy that is in the Vishuddhi Chakra. And she is the most expressible, she is the form of the most expressible sound, which is Vaikhari Vak. And Vishuddhi Chakra, the color is blue. And also, one of the other reasons why Rama, Krishna and all are shown as blue in color, right? They're usually shown painted blue in color, right? It's very funny to see somebody in blue color. But we've accepted these gods blue in color. Because Shyama, the closest color, or Krishna, the color of Shyama or Krishna, we consider that as dark blue, dark hued. Right? So that is the color of, that's the aura. Actually, that's the aura of the color, the color of the aura of an individual who has achieved a certain height of a heightened state of consciousness. So the others see them as blue. It's not that their skin is turned blue or whatever. When somebody sees them, like Krillin photography, if you run a photography, Krillin photography, they will appear like bluish, indigo, dark blue, indigo, that kind of a color will appear for somebody who's in a very heightened state of spiritual consciousness. So she is that color, Mahendra Neela Dyuti, and she's effulgent. And then she's Komalangi. His body is very tender and very soft. Such a Matanga Kanya, the first prayer itself is, she is referred as the Kanya of Matanga Rishi. Right? Kanya of Matanga Rishi, who, now very interesting here, why is he calling her as Matanga Kanya upfront, is because to say that I am also an outcast, because I am considered stupid. Kalidasa, I am considered stupid. I am being thrown out. My wife is disappointed with me and she's insulted me because I am not up to the standard. You are the daughter of a Chandala. So there is a common connect, you see. I'm an outcast, you're an outcast. So you remember that. It's like, when you go and tell somebody, you're going and asking some assistance of someone, you'll go and you'll remind them of their past. You also came from there only, right? So you should also help me. Something like that. So you remind them of from where they came, so that you're drawing their attention to the fact that we are pretty much similar. So you should come to my aid. So Matanga Kanyam Manasa Smarami, Aham Smarami. I think about you, I meditate upon you in this form, in this blue. Then she is later referred to as Maragada Shama also, where she is emerald in color. So green is also brought in. This blue and green kind of play, these two colors play together with Matangi in her form. But here she is referred to as blue sapphire. Mahendra Neela Dyuti, this blue sapphire, blue color. Imagine her in your throat, because she is Vaikhari Vak. When you visualize and meditate upon her in this Vaikhari, and then the speech, as we said yesterday, speech, communication, expression, arts, everything flows from Matangi, Raja Matangi, Raja Shyamala. And she is holding a veena means what? She is caressing our whole being. Our whole being is caressed by her. She is nurturing our energies so that it does not rise in a very random fashion. It rises in a very gentle and a harmonious way within us so that we can enjoy the madalasa. We can enjoy this joy of and the nectar that flows within. Right? So that is the first dhyana. Okay. So we'll continue. We'll possibly try to complete the next 2 dhyanas tomorrow, next 2 or 3 dhyanas tomorrow, and then we'll pick up over the next week. Okay. Om kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami sadashivayeti samarpayami jagadambikayeti samarpayami sadgurunathayeti samarpayami. Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Gurudeva. Well, happy Shyamala Navaratri once again to everybody.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Morning undavudi.
Navaratri.
நாளைக்கு மார்னிங் எதுவும் இல்ல, ஈவினிங் தான், டுமாரோ ஈவினிங்.
Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.